Hello, my name is Aiden, and here's 4 reasons why your website sucks. Were you offended by the title? Good. Because it probably means your website sucks and you're aware of that. You just don't like to be confronted with it. But that's okay, we'll work on it, and by the end of this video you'll have a few quick wins. Now before I jump into the 4 reasons why your website sucks, I want to talk about this thing called the hockey stick of death. It's a fun little story that dates all the way back to the 19th century when ice hockey first began. So what is the hockey stick of death? Well, it's about retention or the lack thereof. And we live in a world of people with which we call millennials and zoomers.
Zoom, zoom, zoom! I'm playing Fortnite with my feet!
And well, zoomers pretty much speak for themselves because they're just zooming around, but generally our generations, we've been surrounded by screens and media that competes with each other. Before, 60 years ago, you just have a radio, you switch it on, and that's all you got. Now you've got your phone. I've got my phone right next to me. It keeps lighting up and flashing. I have a look every now and then to see what's going on. I've got my PC screen in front of me. I've got another PC screen next to me with my own face on it that I'm trying not to get distracted by myself and look over to the left all the time. And on top of that, you might have your TV on in the background as well. All these things are competing for time, attention. And on top of that, when you browse the internet, there's tons of websites, there's tons of products, tons of services. And what that's led us to become is a group of very decisive people. So not all bad, but what that means is we don't spend very long on a website. Like, we spend about 5 seconds to determine whether or not this is the website we want to be on and browse. Which for you, as the owner of the website, or the designer, or the creator, or however you want me to put it, makes your job very difficult because you've only got 5 seconds to convince someone to stay. It's not a lot of time.
Ain't nobody got time for that!
So now that you know this, here's 4 reasons why your website sucks. Now the first one, and this is one that comes up all the time when I'm coaching clients, and it's landing page symmetry. This refers to your ad campaigns and the page at which they land on. I've seen so many beautiful ad campaigns, great copy, great creatives, beautiful design. The targeting is really good, and the links are getting loads of clicks. The only thing is the customer acquisition cost is really, really high because no one is signing up or buying the product, and you're not generating any leads.
I declare bankruptcy!
What a lot of people put this down to is they go, well, we tried advertising and these platforms just don't work. They're not very good. We don't get very good quality users. No, your website sucks. Now, when you make an advert, the landing page they land on needs to be the exact same thing as the advert. So let's say I see an ad for a white Adidas trainer, and I come to a website with a pink New Balance trainer. I'm closing the website because I didn't want a pink New Balance trainer. I wanted a white Adidas. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Your website and your ad need to say the same thing. What I'm saying is that for every ad set, you need a landing page that matches it. Sounds like a lot of work, it can be, but once you get in the rhythm and you get a good hang of it, it's pretty easy. Okay, so the second reason your website sucks is that your headline and your subtitle sucks. It doesn't communicate anything useful, and it's been a shock to me how many business owners and marketers there are that just have no idea how to communicate what their product or service actually is. This is pretty much the only text someone's going to read on a website, and honestly, about 8 years ago, I was doing some copywriting work, and I was quite depressed to find out that users only read about 20% of the text on the page, which meant my girlfriend isn't listening to me, and neither are people on the internet. It's tough. That was tough.
If I had to, I could clean out my desk in 5 seconds, and nobody would ever know I had ever been here. And I'd forget to.
So your headline needs to accurately describe what your product is, what the service is, super accurately. They need to get it straight away. And on top of that, what would make it even better is if it communicates your unique selling point or what separates it from its competitors. Now, so here's a bad example of a headline. I found this website. It says, get trusted recommendations powered by the crowd. Super generic. Like, recommendations on what? Who is the crowd? How do we trust those people? How does the product actually work? No clue. Could you tell me? Could you tell me right now what this website is, what it does? Just based on that. Don't worry, I'll help you out. I'll tell you, because I spent like 15 minutes figuring it out myself. It's a service that allows you to make more informed decisions on like insurance providers, utilities, and other sort of contractual things based on reviews from verified users that have experienced that product or service themselves. So that would be a pretty good headline. That was pretty good, wasn't it? I'm a bit of a beast, I know. So here's another good headline, a good example of one. Over at Webflow, it's a landing page builder. They go the modern way to build for the web. Webflow empowers designers to build professional custom websites in a completely visual canvas with no code. Okay, say no more. I'm awful with code. I know the basics, but I always get lost and I eventually break things. So a visual way of doing this without having to code, perfect for me. They know their user, they communicate the product, they say what it does differently to their competitors, what makes it stand out from the rest, and I'm convinced. Okay, reason number 3 why your website sucks. Attention ratio. Now, we just talked about how people these days have very, very short attention spans. We're like the goldfish of people now. Like, we'll come to a website and probably quickly forget the real reason why we were there, get distracted, see like an Instagram button at the top right and go, "Oh, I like Instagram." And you click Instagram and suddenly you're browsing pictures, and then you go to the homepage of Instagram and you're not with the product, you're not with the website, you're on a different platform entirely.
You know I have to show my Instagram story that we pop bottles all day.
So when we talk about attention ratio, it's the amount of buttons to the amount of call of actions. So your call to action is the button that you want people to press to fill in some information in the email or to get them to buy something or convert. Whatever you consider a conversion, your call to action is leading them to that point. So you want that button to be the most likely button for people to press, which means the more other buttons you have, the less likely they are to press. So here's a really bad example of attention ratio. Now, this example I'm using, they've had an absolute nightmare. They've got no headline, they've got no subtitle. I'm already lost. And on top of that, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 buttons to one sign up button. And by the way, the sign up button hidden and nicely placed and shoved into a corner. So it's the last thing you see. Now, remember, people read from left to right, which means they scan across the page. The last thing they see is a sign up button. They've at least given it a different color. That's good, but not very likely to go and press it. So here's an example of a good attention ratio. How many buttons do we see? There's 2 buttons. It's a 1-to-1 attention ratio. For every call to action, there's one other button. That's it. They're more likely to press that button because it's one of the only buttons. Okay, reason number 4 why your website sucks, and the last one I'm going to introduce you to today. Your call to action is weaker than Kylian Mbappe's performance in the Euros for France. It was pretty bad. Your call to action is that as well, bad. That's okay though, because we're going to talk about it. So this button, it needs to communicate the next step that users are going to take. You write sign up, that's decent, sure. They know they're going to go sign up, but you could be more specific. Like, what are they signing up for? Now, I found a few examples on the internet. So this one here, the online resume builder, they go create my resume. Very clear, actionable. I know that I'm going to be doing this specific thing next. Came here to create a resume, and I press that button, I'm going to do it. Over at Basecamp, they say, give Basecamp a try. It's free for 60 days. I like this. It's basically reinforcing the idea that there's no risk involved. You can try it out. It's free. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead. Just do it. Neil Patel's Quick Sprout platform offers you 2 clear options. One of those being I want to grow my traffic, and the other one is I want to coach my clients. Now, clearly, they understand their 2 sort of personas they have that they're trying to reach out to, their end users, and they are speaking directly to them and their needs. So I want to grow my traffic. Sweet, simple. That's what I came here for. Or I want to coach my clients. That's what I came here for. They understand their users. And the last example I'm going to use is GiftRocket, the online gift card, and it's simple as it can be. It says send a gift rocket. It could be a sign-up thing first. There could be some browsing of finding different gift cards or whatever it might be, but it's super clear what you're doing next on the website, and it's why you're there. Okay, look, so there's tons of best practices, tips, tricks, ideas, reasons why your website sucks, but these are the most common ones I run into, especially with my clients and things. So these will give you some quick wins, and if these tips didn't, then I would go ahead and click the subscribe button, because clearly you liked the video, you came to the end of it. So click the subscribe button. I'm 100% certain that my future videos will help you out. And if you did get, useful stuff from this, also click subscribe. I'm out.